time. Hello, welcome. My name is Rui Pedrosa, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Before start working as a barista, I never took the time to appreciate things that I eat or drink. Only when I was introduced to specialty coffee, I started noticing different flavors, aromas, and textures one can have in coffee. And that's how I fell in love with it. Not only the experience, but also the connection we have when drinking a cup of coffee. And this is what I want to share with you today. The connection I have with these two outstanding coffees, both from Colombia. Now, judges, I'm going to start by pulling the espressos for my signature beverage. I'm using 21 grams in, 40 grams out, at a temperature of 93 degrees. For this, I'm going to use a new varietal called Mandela that was developed by Ceni Cafe in Colombia. Its development process started on a self-pollinating caturra, a bean that gave it the best characteristics. Then, it was crossed with Timor hybrid in order to confer resistance to rust before being crossed with varietals like Daleco, Villasarchi, and the famous Sultan Jume to improve genetic background and enhance flavor complexity. Mandela was then implemented by the field at Granja La Esperanza in their prized Val de Cauca farm located at 1,700 meters above sea level in the region of Trujillo, Colombia. At Granja, a new post-harvest technique was implemented called XO, and it stands for extra old materials, like brandy and cognac. The Mandela XO starts with 36 hours anaerobic fermentation of the whole cherry. Then, it goes to a silo at a temperature of 35 degrees for 48 hours before going to mechanical dryers for dehydration. It's this process that will allow my espressos to have intense citric floral notes. After this, the Mandela goes to solo dryers, where it will stay for 6 to 7 days with controlled temperatures of 18 and 23 degrees until they reach a moisture level of 11 to 12%. Now, judges, I'm going to leave my coffees to cool down, and we'll come back to them later. In front of you, you have a booklet that we're going to use to guide you in this presentation. I'm going to ask you to please turn to the page that says Espresso Beverage. So here it's all about taste. And for that, I'm going to ask you to write down the following information on your score sheets. On my espresso, you'll find a medium full body with a velvety texture and a long aftertaste. The aroma will be of the blood orange. And judges, I'm going to ask you to evaluate the crema and stir my coffee 3 times clockwise. And then you can put the spoon on the black cup that's in front of you. Then I'm going to ask you to not drink your espressos just yet. You're going to wait 10 seconds before doing so. Take that time to feel the aroma. I'm also going to ask you to taste my coffee with 2 sips. On the first one, you will find, and please write it down, a gentle tartaric acidity. It's going to taste like white grapes, a note that I really enjoyed. On your second sip, you will find the notes of pink blood orange pink grapefruit, cacao nibs, and brown sugar. I use for this recipe 21 grams in, 40 grams out, at a temperature of 93 degrees, because it was here, judges, that I found my coffee to have the most balance and the best complexity. It's for you. Enjoy. There you go. Thank you. That's for you. Enjoy. And finally, but not least, there you go. Enjoy. Judges, if you're ready, please go to the page that says milk beverage. Now, the first time I tasted this coffee with milk, I was blown away. I never thought we can have these kind of flavors in the pairing of coffee and milk. This is a different varietal. It's a geisha, lacto-fermented natural process from Finca Aroma Nativo, located at 1,550 meters above sea level in the region of Quindío, Colombia. Now, the fermentation process for this coffee starts with 120 hours anaerobic fermentation. Then, the coffee is depulped and the lactic bacteria from the region of Quindío is inoculated. It has been demonstrated that the lactic bacteria is the most important bacteria for the development of flavor precursors, like organic acids and esters. And this will add control to the fermentation, allowing this espresso to have the most amazing fennel pollen note, if you could please write that. If you're not familiar with fennel pollen, it's an aromatic herbal note with a flavor taste like anise. Judges, after that, the coffee goes to mechanical dryers, where they'll stay for 4 days with temperatures of 30 and 35 degrees between them, with 12 hours of interval. This will allow even more aromatics to come out in the light of lemongrass, if you could please write that. Finally, I'm using a milk, which is a blend of a freeze distilled 50% fat content, 3.6% fat content, and 50% of a free lactose milk. This will create a different note of the white chocolate, if you could please write it down. That's for you. Enjoy. For this, I use 20.5 grams in, 40 grams out at a temperature of 93 degrees. Judges, both my coffees, is for you, enjoy, were roasted 13 days ago in a drum gas roaster with a drop temperature of 170 degrees, where on the Mandela we look for a 15% development, and on the Geisha a 12% development, in order to get a rich, fruity floral aromas out of both of them. That's for you, enjoy. Remember, you will find the notes of fennel pollen, lemongrass, and white chocolate. You will have a creamy texture with a long aftertaste. That one's for you. Thank you for waiting. There you go. It's for you. This one is yours. Thank you. And finally, judges, please, if you could, let's go to the page that says signature beverage. I was inspired by the flavor profile that my Mandela Espresso had, and I tried to recreate it in a cold beverage that I'm going to call Mandela's alter ego. For that, I'm using 4 shots of my Mandela Espresso that I previously took and let it cool down. In order to get a round, velvety body, I'm using 7 grams of arrowroot emulsion that I obtained by adding to 5 grams of arrowroot, 40 grams of hot water. And arrowroot is a plant from South America, known to raise texture without affecting flavor or aroma. Then I'm using 20 grams of a tamarind puree, obtained by adding to 10 grams of tamarind concentrate, 45 grams of hot water. Tamarind is a leguminous from Africa, known for its tartaric acidity, and this will bring out the notes of white grapes, something that I really enjoyed on the espresso. Finally, I'm going to add 30 grams of a slow-infused Faisali syrup. You may also know it as Cape gooseberries. I obtained that by adding to 500 grams of Faisalis, 200 grams of sugar, for 8 hours at a temperature of 23 degrees. This will bring to my signature beverage the high citric notes and the high sweetness, turning it into the notes of white grapefruit. Sorry. Finally, I'm adding 3 ice cubes in order to get my beverage to the ideal serving temperature. And I'm going to put everything on the siphon. And I'm also going to add a charge of nitrogen dioxide. Now, what's most amazing is that with this combination, I was able to find 2 more new flavors. Argentinian dulce de leche and ladyfinger biscuits. In my signature beverages, you will find a heavy body with a creamy texture. Notes of white grapes and grapefruit, ladyfinger biscuits, and Argentinian dulce de leche. Feel free to feel its aroma, and you'll find also blood orange. And also, judges, another flavor that was created, and I almost forgot to tell you, that was a shame, that was created by adding the Faisalis, was the flavor of fresh apricot. That one is for you. Enjoy. This is for you. Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you very much. Enjoy. And finally, this yours. It was a pleasure to be here with you today, judges. Time.